Hello, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you are tuning in from. I am so happy to see you today, and I cannot wait to share with you all that I have to share. It's become a habit. It's become something I love doing, and it's become something some of you wait for, and which is so exciting. And this week, it's all about introducing myself, probably building some rapport, also letting you know more about me so that you know actually why you can trust me and you can rely on me. I am today, you notice there's a different background. It's because I am in my hometown. And I told you that I am from Lebanon. I'm Lara Ghanime Khneisser, and I cannot wait to share with you what I have to share. So it's not just about telling my story, it's also telling you or sharing with you the lessons that I got from everything I went through. So I hope you like the background. It's not too red and it's soft with the eyes. So let's dig deep. As first, a small reminder of the things that I shared with you last week or last Monday actually, and they were about the accident, mainly the main event in my life that actually changed my life, flipped it all upside down. Because before it, I was always about serving others. I'm still. I'm about inspiring others, and that helped me more. That gave me the tools, gave me the level that I needed, and also gave me the story from which I can start. And it's also a perfect example of the willpower, the power of faith and determination. I hope I was able to inspire you. I hope that I was able to reach you, to go into your heart, and with what I'm going to share today, even dig deeper. Because my purpose, my calling is to help anyone I can to achieve their highest potential, to achieve more, and to know that they actually are built for more. So, today, we reached last time by talking about the step where I started walking and that now I started my life and I was able to get married because God sent me the right person for me. He's not perfect, no one is perfect, but the perfect person for me. And with him, I started a new chapter of my life. And that chapter happened to be in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is an amazing place to live. Please do not misunderstand me or misinterpret. However, for the person I was, it was a bit of a challenge. Why was it a bit of a challenge? Because I come from a Christian background, I come from a very liberal kind of culture, and a kind of there, we interact very freely with both sexes. And so going to Saudi Arabia, where it is a very reserved kind of environment back then when I went there, we're talking about 2013, it was a huge challenge, a huge change where I had to show a lot of adaptation. And how this helped me? By being able to adapt, I was able to change to the person that I needed to be for me to succeed in that environment. So the main lesson here is that it's not about you. It's not about me. It's not that they are different, so they are against me. So, no. Wherever we go, we have to realize that these people are different, right? No brainer. But that difference brings along its challenges. And that difference brought along many challenges that I learned to overcome, to accept, to empathize with, and to live with, but to live happily. If I keep focusing on the difference, if I kept focusing on the difference, on the probably non-acceptance back then, on how I wasn't allowed to live the way I was used to live, then I would have never been able to succeed, right? So, first lesson that I learned, you have to adapt to survive and to thrive, not just to survive, but also to thrive. Now, these were amazing years. However, they were aimless. In terms of what? In terms not that I was like, I didn't know why I lived. I was living amazingly. And we had really amazing time. However, I felt that whatever I was doing was not serving a higher purpose. Because back then I didn't know exactly what was my purpose. I knew that I knew that because of the sorry. I'm in a full house, so I might be interrupted at several times. What I was saying, oh, I hate this happening. Oh my God. Okay, so I was talking that I was being productive. I was helping people. I was a teacher, and I was also school principal. I was a founding principal in another school. It was a very highly developing stage. However, I wasn't doing them with a certain goal in mind. I didn't know what was my purpose. From the minute the accident happened, I knew that I had a purpose in life. However, I hadn't discovered it. It was Steve Jobs' speech that gave me some hope because he said, even if you don't know, just keep on searching. And he knows some of the most interesting people that by the age of 65 still did not know, like the founder of KFC. So age is just a number. We need to keep searching. And that's what I did. I just kept searching and kept trying and kept learning. So I that's why I said I roamed aimlessly because I wasn't pursuing one goal. I was shifting focus from here and there, academic coordinator, being school principal, then going back to teaching because I had my first child, but they didn't align in any way. Then I got the golden opportunity. But before I reached the golden opportunity, I'm going to reach there. Stay with me. I had to do some learning, a lot of learning. So I did the Harvard X Leaders of Learning. I was in Toastmaster, honing my speaking and leadership skill because Warren Buffett says the best skill that you can develop and will achieve your success is your communication skills. So if you haven't worked on that, that's the first bucket list or that's the first goal you have to work on. So I was working on all of those, and at the same time giving unconditionally because I had met in my previous school before I got married the business manager by that time of Britannica International Education, and so I kept in contact with her because I believed that what she's doing aligned with what I would love. And then, without me knowing, she became a managing director and she opened her branch in the UK. And rewind in 2010, I visited the UK for a short stay and I fell in love with it. And then I said, one day that's where I'm going to live. So fast forward back to where I was in Saudi Arabia. I got contacted by her for some freelance work because she knew that I spoke three languages and I was in the education and I worked very hard, but also with a lot of integrity. And they needed this in Britannica. So I did some freelance work for them. In parallel, to show how things really align ahead. I mean, they align in the end, but you cannot see this. So at the same time, I decided, my husband and I, that living in Saudi Arabia for good is not an option. And going back home was not an option because of the political, economic situation, financial situation. So we decided for immigration and we had applied for our papers for Canada. They took some time, they didn't come. And then the managing director of Britannica contacted me. I contacted her actually when we were nearly going to get the visa for Canada, and I told her I'm so interested in what you're doing. So see the unconditional love, the high interest, the follow up. But I was wondering if you had or if Britannica has an office in Canada because we're now considering moving. At that time, she was starting her team, and she said, would you consider a change of destination? I was intrigued. I told her, what do you mean by change of destination? And she offered me to become part of her team as a curriculum and training specialist in the UK. Wow, everything aligned. 2010, I put a goal that I want to live in that country with which I fell in love. Fast forward 10 years, I get the golden opportunity. I kept believing, I kept trying, I kept trusting. Amazing. She gave me the offer. We did everything, and we were ready to immediately move because all the papers were ready in the process to Canada. So I was able to move immediately at the time where many people were losing their jobs in the middle of COVID. I got a golden opportunity to move to the UK. Keep trusting, keep working hard, keep developing yourself because you will become the version that is ready to welcome this new challenge, whatever it is, aligning mostly with your purpose for sure. I moved to the UK with my family. I had my 4 year old and I was pregnant. And I had to move alone until my husband sorted his papers. So imagine what challenge that is. If you're a woman, you understand. If you are a teenager, one day you'll understand. If you're a man, I hope you understand. Because being alone in a new country with new job, so that many can align with new country, new job, you don't know anyone, everything is new, you have so many things to learn, and having a 4 year old to care for, and being pregnant, so taking care of yourself, and then having a newborn. Wow. However, I took up the challenge because I knew this was needed for me to level up. Level up to what? Unfortunately, it was not yet clear. But I just trusted the process. I had a lot of faith in God. And I knew that with will and determination, one day it will become clear. Just keep trusting the process, keep trusting in yourself. Things will align. Always says you cannot connect the dot looking forward, but you can connect them looking backwards. After everything happens, you are able to understand. So I took the job, I came to the UK. It was very challenging, as expected, a huge challenge. But I made it happen. My husband moves here, then I'm made redundant by the company who offered me the sponsorship. So imagine now the new challenge, emotional, mental, and physical, because I had to secure a new sponsorship. And that's where the battle and the new lowest rock bottom that I reached happened because I wasn't able to easily find, for those who are in UK, you understand, for those who are not, finding a job here and getting sponsored is like mission impossible. But we kept, my husband and me, working, trying. I did many voluntary work. I worked for free just to keep fresh. I taught in schools for free because I wanted to stay in the know, to get to learn more about the circumstances here, the education here, so that once I'm ready, I have the papers sorted, then I can immediately start working. I don't have this gap because this gap, believe it or not, is very, very important. Now, with every job application that I did, or I recently I did actually, or from my colleagues, they mention you should write about any gaps in your career and explain why. Because a gap in the career that unexplained can tell so much about your character. That you stop trying, you're someone who's probably lazy, doesn't want to work, or is depending on someone else. So it's very important that you keep productive no matter what. No matter what the job, it's not aligning with your skills, fine, it's okay, it's momentary. It will help you level up to the next to level up to the next stage. Self-explanatory, right? So I kept learning. That's when, because I was very low, the universe threw in front of me because I was believing, I was determined, I was trusting, despite the fact that I was almost depressed. I'm not ashamed of saying that. I was actually almost depressed. And then it pops in front of me on Facebook because I was always looking for a solution. Tim Han. and he had the learning mastery achievers. And boom, I immediately signed up for the course. And that was a new learning for me that helped me develop to the new version that was necessary to overcome this challenge. And I overcame it with my partner, with my husband, supporting him too. That's when he became essential in his company and they gave him the sponsorship. So we were able to overcome this step. Now, you're telling me, or you're thinking now, how is all this related to what I'm doing now, or what's in it for me, or why do I care about all of this? It's just putting things in perspective, helping you to know me more. Probably this will build more rapport. You will trust me a little bit more, hopefully, eventually, a lot, because what I do, part of what I do, needs a lot of trust between us. And trust me, I can build amazing rapport with you and help you trust me so that I can help you with your challenges. So I did the LMA course. It helped me become better. Then I kept on trying to serve in my community and to help to keep myself busy, but productively to some extent. And then we got the visa. I applied. I immediately got a job, and it was amazing because I was a teacher in high school, and then I got promoted to head of science because of my skills, because of my knowledge, because I kept fighting, because I had this fighting spirit. Although I didn't have all the experience that was needed, but I had the character. Sometimes bosses or companies, they don't just look for the skills, especially nowadays. You can learn basically almost anything with AI, but they look for the character. They look for this fighting spirit. They look for this person who is ready to overcome anything, to go through anything just to achieve and to participate productively. I mentioned COVID, that I got this job in COVID, but there was another blessing in COVID related to how I learned to be and to overcome things. When COVID hit, I knew two things. One, that I will not be very active physically, so I might start gaining weight. Yes, this is something personal. But also, I knew that my 3-year-old now will stay at home and she will not really learn all that she needs to learn. So what did I do? I purchased an exercise program to make sure I stay fit, and we exercised, my husband and me. God knows, God saw, every single night to make sure we stay in shape. And the second thing, I purchased a program that's teaching to learn, and I was able learning to read. Sorry, reading program. I was able to teach my daughter how to read. So I was her first teacher. And where is it? What is the product of this? In addition to something else I'm going to just tell you about, she was able to write her own book. 8 years old, she has already a published book. Self-published, but it's a published book. And it's amazing. When I was helping her to write it, I was like, Mom, give me more. I can't wait to know what's going to happen. It was so amazing, so there are no words to describe. I was always waiting for more, eager to learn more and to, to live the story of the characters. What was the other thing I just mentioned that helped me? During the time where I was jobless, I tried, as I said, to keep learning things, and I ran into something called the structure of intellect. And the structure of intellect is, in short, like a brain training. And the brain training, it helps a lot with being able to improve your learning skills and be able to learn better. It's not math, it's not science, it's not a remedial program. It's just a program that helps you rewire your brain, overcome those weaknesses and the cognitive skills. And so you become better at learning. You can learn better. So when I completed this program, I started serving immediately students, and that was a side income that was amazing. But that's not what was most important. The most important was the impact that delivering this program had. I had a student who changed her way of living, who became more expressive, who went out of her cocoon, who could not stop talking about our sessions. And her mom even told me that she just turned down playing with her friends because she had a lesson with Miss Lara. And that was like bullseye. Then I did it for my daughter, and I moved her from someone who was neurotypical, didn't have any learning disabilities, didn't have any problem. She was average, to someone who's near gifted, coming first in comprehension test in her school as an EAL, so English as second language, being brighter than the native speakers. So yes, continuous learning, continuous serving unconditionally, they actually lead to amazing things. And the last part, which gave me actually what is my calling, was me meeting the founder of the new generation of NLP. I was at his house meeting with his wife because she's developing my website, and to whom I'm so grateful, Halat Tahouf, and she's very, very brilliant in her work. And so I met her husband, who was the founder of the new generation of the neurolinguistic programming. And I was curious, what is this about? Because I had a hint about what NLP does. And he told me that he came up with a new understanding of what actually governs our behavior. It's not the conscious, it's not the subconscious, but it's something in between that we call the community of filters, and that govern all your actions, your reactions, your behavior, your handling, your mental state. And he told me that what he trains helps people, or what he does in his coaching helps people reprogram those community of filters so that you feel better, you achieve better, you overcome your mental emotional blocks. Wow, it was like my first eureka. But then I had to test it, and I told him, do you think you can help me? I have two major problems. When I gave him what the major problems were, he was very intrigued. He wanted actually to take the challenge. The first one, as I told you, I did the car accident, and I completely forgot everything happening during, like, the day of the accident, the impact. I wanted to remember what happened. Why did I suffer this accident? Why did my boyfriend speed? I needed to know. There was like a black hole in my memory. And that's how he helped me. So I told him about this black hole, and I told him that whatever I've been through and until now have caused a lot of lack of self-confidence in me. I knew that I learned a lot, that I had many abilities, but I wasn't trusting them to help me achieve higher, to become better. So he took this as a challenge, and he told me, I can help you. I was like, nah, you can't. I don't really believe in those things. He invited me for the first session. And the first session, imagine just an hour, he was able to just break all my walls regarding self confidence so that I can build a new understanding about who I am and my capabilities. Wow. I need to know more. I need to try more. And then he invited me for another session, amazingly given for free. He was loving unconditionally. And in 1 hour, I literally remembered every single detail of the car accident. I even remembered the night, the party I was at, and I could recall what I was saying or what people around me were saying when I entered the emergency room and how I went into the comatic state. Wow. When we finished that session, now was my real eureka. I finally found my calling because I love serving others. I love helping others break through their blocks, mental, emotional, learning. And I just was given the right tool for that. Wow. So I had the structure of intellect training, and I had this neurolinguistic programming. So I told him, is there a way, because he's in Lebanon, is there a way I can learn about this? And then he went away seeing my passion, seeing my determination, seeing my faith, And he proposed that himself and his wife very kindly train me to become a practitioner and then a master's and hopefully one day a trainer. Wow. See how things align when you just believe, when you just keep working, keep searching, keep trying. And so when I finished my practitioner, I couldn't wait to start helping. And I actually started giving back unconditionally. I helped my colleague overcome his phobia of spiders. He used to literally sweat and not be able and stop functioning when he saw one. And the last time I checked, he told me I was curious to find spider webs. Wow, what a change. And I helped another colleague overcome his lack of self confidence. He had been a teacher for X number of years, not daring to try harder, to try higher. After an hour, 2 sessions of an hour, I was able to build a new understanding about his confidence, and he actually applied to a higher position that he got. And the third person, I helped her realize who she actually is, how special she is, despite the fact that she had a narcissist husband. And she was able to start being more productive. So, wow, wow, wow. Can you believe? It's not because, yes, I did something or I had someone. No, it's wow, I can make a difference and help people actually overcome their challenges, overcome their limitations, those fears, those blocks, those phobias, those limitations in the learning. We are amazing beings. I trusted from the beginning that our brains are a gift from God. If they're a gift from God, so they're meant to be used to their fullest potential. So we actually achieve something very high. If you don't believe this, you have a problem. You are wasting your gift. Let me help you. And that's what I am now certified to do, helping you in the learning academically or helping you in the overcoming emotionally and mentally. So I am Lara Ghanime Khneisser. To finish with this, I am a structure of intellect certified trainer, and I am a new generation of NLP practitioner, hopefully soon becoming masters. I'm still developing my speaking mastery skills with nhad because I want to express myself with with impressing so that people actually can connect with me, trust me, so that I can help them. Trust is very difficult to build, but trust me, this is something that I honor. So once you trust me, I will honor this and I would be more than happy, can't wait to be the one that will help you level up, get to that next level in your life, or just be able to feel better. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. I hope now you know me a little bit more and you know my passion, you know my calling, and from my social media, you know how to reach me. And I would love to serve you anytime, anywhere, anyhow. Thank you again for being there. I promise that there will be every week something new to share, new experiences to live together, to overcome together challenges. And if you are interested to take it a higher notch, I'll be more than glad to be there for you personally. I want to wish you a lovely weekend. Make sure to make the best out of it, to keep learning if there's something to learn, and consider everything that you're going through a necessary lesson so that you reach the next level for you to achieve a lot. Happy weekend, and don't forget, I'll see you Monday. Bye bye.